Barnabas Church, St. Matthew's and the Resurrection, All Souls and St. Leonard, St. Ambrose and Christ the King, St. Paul and the Cathedral Church. Welcome back to our episode. We are continuing with the conversation about the float parade, and now we have a new addition to our conversation. Miss Harriet Blackett from St. Leonard's. Miss Harriet Blackett is part of the committee, the new farm committee for this upcoming year's float parade, and I just wanted to include her in the conversation to find out how the committee is progressing. But before that, from behind the scenes, we were talking about the fact that there wasn't a committee before. So before we get into conversing with Harriet specifically, I want to know what were the challenges you faced last year, and clearly one might have been, time in, as you mentioned in the previous part of this episode, and it seems as though you didn't even have a committee. So what were the challenges you experienced and the lessons you learned, and how has that then shaped what's coming next year?
Right, yes. It is good to know that St. Leonard and all the other churches have committees, have the time to form the committee, because I mentioned before, it was literally 3 months knowledge and then 1 month of pulling it together. Mm-hmm. But this year, I learned, because basically it was myself and Aline, we really pulled it together, delegating, and everybody else had little time. So we learned that yes, we needed the time, and so from very early, in fact, as soon as the parade was over last year, they said, Rev, you want to do this again? And I said, start a plan, and you will know eventually what we will do. So they have started, and now every church has the committee, and they are planning. Our theme last year was the church is safe, sacramental, and safe. Mm-hmm. This year, it's the liturgical seasons. And liturgical seasons was birthed out of the persons who were part of the parade. There were a whole host of ideas that came out, the life of Jesus, and we could have gone they had so many ideas flowing, but we decided to go with the liturgical seasons, and that, again, another teaching moment, especially since our diocese is preparing to celebrate its 200th year as a diocese.
That's a big accomplishment.
A big accomplishment indeed. So it's historical, so you're trying to get the history of the church out, and part of the church is about the liturgical seasons. The life of the church is like a 7-year cycle. 7-year cycle. There's 6 liturgical seasons, And in them, there are various occasions when we honor saints, but they're basically 6 seasons. So that is what we're going to be showcasing this year, the 6 liturgical seasons.
So from what you said just now, let me just ask for some clarity. Is it that every church or you're still doing the pairs?
Yes, we are paired, because our deanery is perhaps the largest deanery with churches, 11. So the churches are paired. So each church is, 2 churches are doing one theme, one season, and that's how it's going again.
Okay, so now with the committees, is that each pair has its own committee, and then the committee then has a bigger committee? What's it like?
So let Harriet do that.
Yeah, so tell me about the committee you're on. Is it for the specific 2 pairs, or is it the overall committee?
No, it is for the specific 2 pairs.
Okay.
So we would get our ideas together to bite-sized some sketches. So we know, St. Leonard and also we are working on
Lent? Is it Lent?
Easter.
Easter.
So we have a whole idea of the tomb, Jesus coming out of the tomb. All this is sketches that Judy Banks would have submitted. And we have to put it into reality. So we got to get all the materials and that sort of thing. So it would be St. Leonard and also who would form the committee, and then we would pool our ideas.
Okay, and when did your committee start the process? Because I know she said from the time the parade basically ended, everybody was like, okay, what's next? What's the next plan? So when did that pair decide, okay, let's go forward what we're doing?
Right, well, since that happened, when we're going to say that start, we had a meeting. We had 2 meetings since then, and the 3rd one is coming up soon. So from these meetings, we decided what we would do. We had our ideas and the different seasons for the different churches and the pairs. So we knew then what we wanted. It started formulating in our minds what we would do, you know, for our own pair, the 2 pairs, right? So everybody then decided at the meetings, the trucks, what trucks we would use, the type of music we were going to use, that sort of thing. We decided that we would, instead of spending money, because we don't have the money, so we agreed that we would use a lot of recyclable items as much as possible, and we have to start working out. I think we would do some workshops so that we would get our ideas and what we need. All we have to do then is start building.
Okay,
right?
So let me ask a little bit about the involvement then of the individual churches. So I'm assuming the committee meets, they decide what they're doing. How do we involve the church members now, St. Leonard's and All Souls, in the execution of the plans that you mentioned?
Right. So every church, I guess, have artistic people. So people will use the different talents in different areas. So those who can draw, those who can make flowers, because a theme like Easter is flowers and yellow and white, and we even put in some kites, you know, but you have kites at Easter, that sort of thing. So I think the best thing that we should do is have some workshops so that we can see where people can use their talents, right? And even children, you know, get the children involved as well, because the children will play a part in that. The children can go on the trucks, and you got children there with flying the kites, and you know that it's the straight away.
Yeah.
You know, to bring out the themes, to bring out what we're trying to portray, right? So I like the idea of the workshops so that we can see where we're going. We make what we have to make. Everybody will come with a different idea. We pool our ideas, and we get the whole thing respected.
So these workshops, I think is it going to be, first let me ask, is the parade for next year going to be around the same theme? So the last Saturday, you said it was?
Yes.
Last Saturday in January again?
January.
So that means that if we do a workshop, that will be next year, that you all would be trying to bring in the persons to try to get the artistic talents out?
I think all it now.
All it now.
We could start having meetings, and then start working on what we're going to be building. Because remember, the trucks will have these. Last year they were elaborate. I really was shocked when I saw them.
11 trucks?
No, elaborate.
Oh,
Elaborate.
Displays.
Okay.
The displays. So I think that to get them like that up to that standard, to keep that standard, we start early. So the workshops can start all right now.
All right. Well, I know the pictures are still going on around us in terms of last year, and as you said, the time was so short, but this
Exactly.
is what y'all were able to do. So since there's more time, as you say, I'm looking forward to the presentations that you'll bring, because I think it will be bigger, it will be better. I'm hoping for that. What is the vision going forward? Would it be that, because you just mentioned the two things, the theme for this year, which was incorporating the sacraments, the next one, which is doing the liturgical seasons. What is the plans in the works going forward? Like, what's the new visions you have for 2025, 2026? Do you plan to bring back these themes?
Right. The liturgical seasons is going to be in 2024. And God's Spirit Life 2025, we are hoping to do something with regards to the 200th year of celebration of our diocese. It's running around in my head, and I was thinking, and I'm just going to say this because the thing about being creative is that you have to have an idea, you have to have a plan. If you don't have an idea, if you don't have a plan, that means you plan to fail.
Yeah.
So once I have said this, this doesn't carve it in stone. It just says that I'm thinking, and that more people will probably hear, and then we can crystallize it, and it could be bigger and better. But I was thinking maybe we can do 10 the decades. The 200 would give us 20 decades, huh? So that means we need to be larger, and maybe it's time now for the entire diocese to get involved as we celebrate the 200th year. I do not know how that is going to happen. The Lord being our helper, I'm sure we will be able to pull it off. But the excitement, the working of the mature persons and the children merging together, that speaks volumes to what we want to have in our church, in our world. We want to have that, and I think it's beginning. And yeah.
I do look forward to the growth of it, and especially with the inclusion of the diocese. The diocese is really large, and as Reverend Sonia was saying when she was here, it's a case where, we don't push enough. So imagine if we do have the whole diocese involved, what that would look like. That might be it was already a whole day event, but that would span a greater, I don't even know what the word I really want, but the achievement we would have, the vision, everything that would be executed would be so major that I think it would push Anglicanism to another height. But I want to thank you guys for speaking with me. I'm not even sure what else I can ask. I just want to know, what would you tell persons about next year? How would you sell it to them in terms of why they should be at whatever point to see this parade?
That almost every day I hear on brass tacks, the church is not doing this, the church is not visible. Last week I heard it, this week I heard it. So I believe that once we really get ourselves in order, get these trucks with this music, and get our elaborate,
display
clothes going, that we can be seen, and it has a purpose, it has meaning, because we obviously selling the whole idea that God is alive, that God is right with us, and that He's there with us, and everybody can get involved. Last year, people were really shocked along the road, and they wanted to join. But then we had the difficulty of how far people can walk. Remember, that was a problem. We didn't know how far, But I guess if people know that there's going to be this float parade coming, they will just line the streets. And then eventually everybody will see how much ever, if you have 100 floats, they will see all. So they will be lining the streets, and they will be excited, to see. That would be nice to have 100.
I'm glad you mentioned that, lining the streets, because people wanted to know where we will be passing.
When she started to speak, I was like, I want to know if you're going to be doing the same routes as last year, if you're changing it this year. What is the plan? Like what route are we taking, and what is the intention for the points?
Okay, the route is going to be changed, and we are hoping to start at All Souls. Our plan at the moment is to conclude at Christ the King. But that is still work in progress in terms of thinking. This is a public forum, so I'm saying that so that everybody will know, even though we intend to start at All Souls and end at Christ the King, as of today, November the 30th, when you hear and when the thing actually comes, the date, the venue might actually change. It may change because our focus, the main thing is that we want as many people to see, and we want to be in the catchment area. We don't want to be disruptive, because you have to get the police permission, and they're going to be part of our lining up to make sure that we are in order and so on and so forth. And we don't want to be an obstruction to people in the streets, but we still want to be where the majority of persons can see us. So we definitely have to go into Bridgetown. Okay? We definitely have to go down to St. Mary's. It would be good if we could pass Black Rock, but there's so many things that we would like to do, but we can't do it all at the same time. So in our conversation, we will have to finalize where we will actually pass. We have a route which I cannot reveal to you at the moment. I don't have it in my head, it's in my phone. But at the same time, where the majority of the people are, that is where we want to be. And whilst we would like to be at every single church in St. Michael's Deanery, it is not possible. Tragically. But we need all of you to get excited about spreading the good news of the gospel in this particular way. And that's the takeaway.
I think my question now, and I think this might be one of the last questions, but basically, last year at the crunch time, etc., how you might not have been able to showcase what's coming a lot more. And this is one way now that persons might know a little more about the float parade and what is to come. But what other means are you planning to take to let the public of Barbados know about this float parade?
Oh, well, your social media platform, of course.
Of course.
Every individual social media platform that we can find. We're going to do Morning Barbados again. I was the one who went last time. Hopefully someone else will take the mantle and go spread the word. Maybe Harriet, and you never know. But we just want persons to do that. So we're going to use the radio, because radio works. And like the television, the various churches. I am on Instagram as of last year's float parade. I don't know how to use it properly, but I try. Every so often I go on. So please, those of you who are viewing, please follow me. Look for St. Paul Church, and also look for float parade, and you will see that. Yes, and you will see everything that happens within our Anglican church, within our world, because we live in the world, but we are not of the world. We are pointing you to do some exciting things for God. That is to reach out, share, and do the love. That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Well, I am excited again, as I said, for next year. I'm glad you guys came today to speak about the float parade. I hope all of you viewers are excited. You've heard the planning stages. You will hear more about it as time goes on. This is only one part of the selling of it, the advertising of it that they're doing, but you could see them on other platforms. You heard about the Instagram, you heard that they'll be on TV and on the radio. So I hope that you are drumming up the excitement as well, and you'll be there when the float parade is on. Thank you ladies again for joining me, and thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this first episode of SMD Spotlight.
Thank you.